Hello, this is my professional dispositions video submission. So the first question asks, what dispositions do you possess that you think will make you a successful teacher? The dispositions I think I possess are compassion, advocacy, honesty, reflection, and high expectations. With compassion, whenever my students come to me and tell me that they didn't do their homework because of this and this reason, instead of being really hard on them, I understand their situation and I show them compassion. Another one, advocacy. A lot of the times in my work, working at this Hagwon, a lot of the teachers not really aware of different types of learning and learning disabilities. So if they're talking about a student who has a hard time catching or learning, I will advocate for them and tell them well, maybe they should learn it in this way, and give them alternatives to them just dismissing him and ignoring him. So I'll advocate for students at my Hagwon, and I think as a professional teacher, I will always be advocating, because personally, when I was younger, I had to advocate for myself because I had ADHD, and dyslexia. So I always had to go to teachers, and I'm very well-rounded in the understanding of advocating for students and for myself. Honesty really matters to me. In everything I do, even in my personal life, I take it very seriously. So even in an academic way and teaching, and I'm always honest and I'm tell the kids the truth. Sometimes I should. Anyways, yeah. I'm very good at reflection. I self-reflect very well. I'm always trying to figure out a way to better myself, or if I react a certain way or get upset, I always try to look at myself and be well, why did I react this way? And ask myself these questions and then try to go from there and fix that and learn from it. And then I also have high expectations for my students. I want them to be the best. Even if they're struggling or having difficulty, I know that they can do they can do more than what they think they can. So I try to set higher expectations for them because it just betters them in the future and in general. The second question is, what dispositions do I need to work on? One disposition I need to work on is professional conduct, especially when I'm teaching older students. I tend to cross that boundary between a friend and a teacher. I think it could be because I am 25 and they're similar in age to me, 15, 16. So I tend to be more casual with them, and I probably shouldn't because they're older. So I'm self-aware of being serious and taking them seriously, and not being too goofy. Because with my little kids, I'm goofy, but also professional. But with high schoolers, when I'm goofy, they think I'm just their friend. So I kind of have to be more serious with them and be more professional that way. I will, in order to fix that and address my weakness, I recently, because my boss mentioned something to me. So I recently looked online on how to be more professional before I started this class, on how to be more professional. And it said, when you dress professionally, your attitude and mind changes. And I have found that to be really true. So I started dressing really professionally and nicer clothes, not just jeans, and doing my makeup and doing my hair. And I have found that my students will see me differently, and they'll be more respectful, I guess. And then I will too. So it's a win-win. We're both aware of the situation, which is great. Also, I need to work on curiosity as one of my weaknesses. I kind of a lot of the times I'll accept things the way they are. And I won't really ask too many really mind-blowing questions. And I need to do that more. I guess a way I could help myself do that, maybe always tell myself, kind of a mantra kind of thing. I'm not really too sure about that one. I don't know how to improve my curiosity. I'm curious in other situations, but not so much at work or as a teacher, and I should be. Okay. Number 3 question, it says, how do the dispositions demonstrate your ability to understand other cultures, genders, and learning differences to build stronger relationships with the students? Okay, so if I have students from other cultures, I should try to learn the other culture and educate myself. As a teacher in Korea, I have to be sensitive to my students' culture. Oftentimes, it's difficult for me to understand them. I have to respect how they interact with each other. So a lot of times in Korea, age is a really big, dividing factor. It divides a lot of my classes sometimes, even age and gender. Like, I'll have classes, and if I'm trying to get them to do pair work, they'll be really hesitant, and they won't do pair work. They'll, talk to each other, ask a question to one another, outside of class, but, in class, they don't really interact with each other. And I find that very difficult to handle in my class because I need them to interact with each other, because oftentimes my classes are small, and the boy-to-girl ratio is way off, so they need to interact with each other. But I also have to keep in mind, that is their culture, and I need to respect that and not push them too hard. So I guess you could say my bias is me having these expectations of them interacting with another, and me having to understand their culture would be to just let them interact with the girl and boy and let them do 3 groups instead of 2 groups of pairs. I guess I would have to let that relinquish that expectation. Question number 4, how do you anticipate using feedback from your annual performance evaluations? When I'm evaluated or given points at work, I really take it to heart. I really always try to improve because I know I'm not, especially working and teaching, I'm not really experienced, as you could say. So I'm always trying to look a way to improve myself, because I don't want to teach them in the wrong way, even in school. So I will, a lot of times if someone gives me criticism, I will listen intently, and typically the next day I will try to change it accordingly and change it to what tip was given to me. And a lot of times I will also write it down, because I am pretty forgetful. So I will write it down for criticism, and I will write it down and also change it instantly so that I remember it. I really do benefit from evaluations and criticism. Also, for example, on my own, I will go out and look to improve myself. My grammar isn't very good, so right now, I'm working on a grammar book to practice and get improve my grammar skills to teach my students. And that's how I can improve myself. That's it for my professional dispositions. Hope this is what was intended. It's 8 minutes long now. Sorry about that. Thank you. Goodbye.